Throwing first play is Pickett. And incomplete to open things up.
That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make second down, second and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Option right, Pickett going to run with it. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked by Kenneth Murray. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 and a Dolphins touchdown. So a big defensive play there on the opening drive, no less, as they make the interception and bring it back for the score.
And I think that's a signal for how this defense wants to play. They want to be disruptive, and you know they're going to take some chances.
Well, sometimes it can burn you, but right there, it paid off. Point after, right down the middle. Get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This one fielded at the 5. And he returns this to the 22. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Now remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
Meanwhile, Pickett's throw into the hands of Pickens. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. This drive starts with 2 steps forward and now 1 back. A pair of first downs, and here a loss of yardage. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. From the gun, here's Pickett. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to... Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. They begin the drive with Williams. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Let him go by a little too easily there.
Well, that's what we saw on film, isn't it? His head goes down oftentimes when he goes to punch when he's trying to block. And when you do that, you can't see your target. He went right past him and made the play.
And not much room to speak of. He'll get about 3 up to the 41. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. Man open, it's Moss complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
If they want it first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. From the gun, it's Tua. Oh, looking for Waddle, but it's intercepted. Picked off by David Long. And the Steelers are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. And this, Charles, definitely not what they were wanting to see. Remember, he threw 3 interceptions in the loss last week, and now he gives the ball away again here in the very first quarter.
And you have to think that this was drilled into him all week, too, by his teammates, by his coaching staff. They've told him all week long, we've got to protect the football. They probably crossed that fine line with giving him the right advice and saying it too much. And it turned out that it got into his head a little bit.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It goes as a loss of 6. And now 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Roberts. He'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Fryermuth. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion.
Ready, play. Hey, check Vegas. On the ball.
On 1st and 10, Roberts. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
In every game we talk about what are going to be the keys as we go into it. Maybe that's a key for their defense today. Pressure the quarterback and make sure you play a good zone defense behind them, and they get their first sack of the contest.
And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on 1st down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at 3rd down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
Ultra. Go ultra.
Here's Roberts from the gun on 3rd down. Wide open receiver, complete. And he's got another 1st down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 26. They go back to the ground with Edwards-Helaire. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Okay, right.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. It's going to be a gain of 6 on the keeper, but it leads to a 3rd down.
But if you're going to have a relay race, you're probably going to pick your backs and receivers to run it, but don't underestimate the conditioning of the offensive line. They're out there just dictating things, staying on the field, and keeping a long drive going.
From the gun on 3rd down, Roberts. And he'll be stopped shy of the 15 at the 14-yard line on the return. So that now 2 consecutive drives that have ended in interceptions. You wonder if he's trying to do a little too much out there.
Oh, I like where you're going with that maybe he's pressing it a little bit, trying to be too fine with his throws, or maybe overestimating his arm. It could be a combination of all those things. In any event, he's got to get it figured out in a hurry.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it, but maybe they get to it in a little bit different way, because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete, and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
Yeah, it's still in the first half here, a long way to go. And a very short pickup there across the 15 to the 16. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on 1st down, then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Like what I've seen so far out of this defense because they've been showing their best coverages on third down. So far, only allowed one conversion on a handful of attempts. One area of their game plan that they've executed to perfection.
Only 2 punts for him last week in the loss as he gets this one away. And this returnable for Hines. A very nice punt that time, but they get 11 back on the return. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover the plague did on the last one.
They'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain there as he kept it himself at 2nd down. The Steelers at 1-3 here in the early part of the year. They were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer about. So, you know, they just want to come out and play well for their faithful, and I expect them to do just that.
You got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football?
And how about this, a fake? Oh, but this is going to backfire as it's intercepted. Brandon Jones picking it off. And the Dolphins will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. Well, sometimes the fake punts work out. They're fun, and you're so smart for doing it. And sometimes, Charles, what happens is an epic fail, and what we just saw was an epic fail.
And you're right about that because the key here is the element of surprise. You have to catch a defense completely unaware that this might happen, this might occur. Unfortunately, somehow they tipped it off, or they were just well coached and on their toes.
3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. On the counter, here's Williams. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. They'll stay on the ground with Williams. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. The Dolphins on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Now Tua. And he will find his big tight end over the middle. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 13-yard line. Up the middle, it's Williams. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. It was Kwity Paye who made the stop coming off the edge. Williams going to get it again on 2nd down. He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
They just keep trying, but so far, finding no room for him to run.
None whatsoever. In fact, you run the numbers. He's under 3 yards a carry at the moment. He's got it. Touchdown, Dolphins. A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins go up by 2 touchdowns. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to draw up those types of plays because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. If you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough they couldn't handle it. It worked out for 6. Extra point splits the uprights, and it's now 14-0. The kicking team out for Miami as they will send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily that you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Roberts now on first down. Pass complete to Jalen Tolbert. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
That escapes the sack. He's going to lose 19 on the play, and that's going to bring up a second and about a mile here.
On the double.
Back to throw. Roberts. That's going to be caught by Pickens. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down.
Barney sold the go route really well. Thought he was going deep, then curled it back inside for a nice completion.
DBs love when they pump the brakes, don't they?
Yeah, that's really a whole lot of fun. It's almost like you said, listen, if you're going to sell the go, just go. And let's see who's faster.
To throw is Roberts. Throwing on third and long. And he fires one that's intercepted. Brandon Jones picking it off. And the Dolphins are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked up by Elijah Molden. There he goes, left side. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half. So we've reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Dolphins taking a lead to the locker room. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Dolphins in front, and they'll be in possession of the football first as the second half gets started. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback.
Ready up.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. A loss of 1, now a loss of 2, and they're staring at a 3rd and 13.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But it looks like they're ready to go.
That's going to be caught by Moss. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And the terrible towels in full force now as the Steelers get set to defend this 3rd and long. Tagovailoa working out of the gun, and he's unable to haul it in, so it falls incomplete over the middle 3rd of the field, and that brings up 4th.
Sometimes the game is pretty simple. Put a few extra defensive backs on the field, give them nowhere to throw the football, force the incompletion, and get off the field on 3rd down.
The Dolphins will send out the punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
And when you've thrown as many interceptions as he has in this one, you definitely start getting a little hesitant to throw the ball out wide, because that's prime pick 6 territory. That time, he made sure the only guy who was going to catch it was sitting in the 3rd row.
Roberts, off play action. And he whips that one incomplete there.
I'm sure it was a tough halftime trying to figure out some strategy to get things going, trailing by a lot when they went into the locker room. He's just trying every avenue to spark his team here to begin the 3rd quarter. Not a lot going on that play, though.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that's incomplete.
I think it's safe to say that he's made some questionable decisions out there so far. Forced some throws into tight coverage. He's already been picked off in this game. 4th down now, but he was fortunate on that one not to have another turnover on his ledger.
And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback.
Here we go.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your deep.
He's got him in, complete. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now 21-0. The kicking team out for Miami as they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
All right, I got to ask you, with these RPOs, essentially the quarterback has 3 options, right? So what's different from that versus the triple option that we see the service academies run at the college level?
As a general rule, the triple option at the college level, most things are called outside of the quarterback faking it to the runner and then keeping it himself and maybe having a trail back. What I mean is, in the NFL, that option to throw the football all comes about organically. It's a natural deal based on reads. In college, if you're going to throw the football off a triple option, you've actually called that play.
And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game, that's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. In this case, he picks up a first down.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Nice progress down the field was halted by that incompletion. They could try for some safe yards here to get things moving again, or keep throwing it and pushing it downfield to try and pick up bigger yardage.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Brandon Jones picking it off. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will bring it back. It's a pick-6 and a Dolphins touchdown. Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this 3rd quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick-6. What they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here, and that one, it backfired in a big way.
Point after, right down the middle, and that makes the score 28-0. So they throw the pick-6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. This one fielded at the 5. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here, maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that, because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
A good down to possibly take a shot, and in fact, they'll come up with an empty backfield on 2nd and inches. He'll take a shot downfield for Pittman. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
The offense schemed going 5 wide, trying to create a chance for the big shot, and they took it. If he comes down with that one, that's a huge offensive swing. But credit the defense with a nice play, knocking that one away.
Now whistles here before the snap, and it looks like one of the Steelers may have moved. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Howell looking to throw again. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
Has been a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts, this time on 3rd down.
Fourth down, Howell. Able to find his man, it's Pickens. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. So this offense able to convert on 4th, and now a fresh set of downs here, 1st and 10. Howell throwing on 1st down here. And he can't get rid of it, he's taken down. That time Bradley Chubb shooting in there for the sack. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
3 quarters have come and gone. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Fourth down, Howell, desperation time. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And incomplete on the deep ball. The Steelers try it, but they come up empty on 4th down. And the Dolphins defense is able to hold. So that's the 2nd time this game they've given it up on 4th down. They're now 1 for 3 on 4th down conversion tries.
But they must feel good about what they're doing, right? They continue to go for it on 4th down. Give the defense a lot of credit, though. They've stopped them 2 out of 3 times. Usually, you have 4th down plays that you have dialed up and ready to go and you think are going to be successful. Not so far in this game.
And I think we can get used to seeing more of that in this 4th quarter, especially if they're having success on the ground like they did there.
Yeah, I think back when we met with the head coach in preseason, and all he talked about was building a bully. And I think it was this situation he was envisioning. Trying to ice a game, plenty of time left, but being able to give the ball to his big runner and pound away and try and finish off a game.
Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. 61 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, he always told his runners, Run around with the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They look like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. A lot of fans long gone, not used to seeing a lopsided score like this. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on third down. And this offense on third down today, they've hit 4 of 7. Here it's 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the side. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Javonte Williams with career touchdown number 75. And the Dolphins are closing in on a 4-1 start as they extend their 4th quarter lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes this 35-0 now. The kicking team out for Miami as they will send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Facing a big 4th quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up 2nd down. Another try after the first down sack. Powell. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete.
That's a good bounce-back play right there after taking a sack on 1st down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call. If you're the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out 3rd and long.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A good pickup there at 22. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 43. Powell's throw complete to Freiermuth. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And a good job on the tackle there as they get him down shy of the 1st on the 35-yard strike. 5 yards that time out of the scramble. But now they're looking at a 4th down situation. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. Going for it on 4th. Here's Howell. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Channing Tindall. And the Dolphins are going to take over here up near the 40. CD, this defense, I mean, at this rate, they're just having fun out there right now.
And normally with this type of a lead, if you're a starter on defense, you're saying, hey, let the other guys play. But with this going on, no one wants to come out of the game. They all want their shot at picking off a pass.
Ready, set,
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted, so they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Ready.
Again, it's Williams. A solid stiff arm. And even 150 yards rushing now for the NFL leader coming into this ballgame. They probably don't need to run a play here, but you wonder if they're going to be able to resist on 1st and goal. They'll try and run. This is Williams. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Some good running there at the end of the drive. He had the burst that set up the 1st and goal, and then one play later, he's in the end zone.
Brandon, what I liked about that sequence is, I'm not sure who made the play call, but they understood the situation, understood the momentum. A nice hard-charging run, give it right back to him, and let him cap things off.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Pittsburgh offense at the line to start their next drive. Well, I think that the folks here had hoped that maybe this home atmosphere would carry their guys to a surprise victory, but it does not appear that that's going to be the case. There's too much to handle on the other side in this one. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him.
Talk about two sides of the ball at cross purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots.